Off season is almost over. We about to be in camp in about 15 days, which is a little over 2 weeks. Then we gonna go into the preseason. So, how did we do for real this off season? We're gonna do the grades today from our offset, from our free agent signings, the people re-signed, and the draft picks. Welcome to Bart. Next stop, off-season signing street.
Just win, baby.
Just win, baby. That's all we do. Just win, baby. What's good? What's good? It's your boy Black, the quarterback. And I'm with my Pizzell Washington himself.
What's cracking?
And we over here. We just was talking about this off season. You know, we OGs in this here Raiders sphere, in this Raiders game. I'm talking about the life game of the Raiders. And thinking this is pretty good off season, you know, projection on paper and what we've done up until this point. So what we're going to do is going to grade all our off season signings. I get it. The new people haven't played yet, the draft picks, but you can at least give a grade from what you know with the OTAs and everything, how well we did with the pick up until this point, because we'll do it a little bit down in the season. So we can do that. The free agent signings, we can talk about that. Was it a good free agent signing with the money involved and all the stuff that came with it? The OTAs, were they there? What you hear about them? Whatever, whatnot. We're going to grade that, and then we're going to grade the people we re-signed. Was it a good re-signing? Was it a good risk? What is the grade you're going to give it? So we're going to talk about that. And I did run across Colin Cowherd talking about the Raiders. He was talking real optimistically about the Raiders, about our future. And it's nice to see what other people think about us. Not that I really absolutely care, but it's nice to see what they say, though. You know how the gossip guys are. We got to see if they're keeping it legit, because we got to see if they're keeping it with their feelings or if they're keeping it with facts, because we do facts over feelings over here. This is not for the faint of heart. So if you're not faint of heart, go on and hit that like button and let's get it going. You ready, Pizzle?
Yep.
Yes, sir. Okay. All right. What's the goings on, man? Let's get into our re-signings. We re-signed. We re-signed, it looked like 5 people. I mean, we're gonna do grades on 4 of them because Tristan McCullum, I don't really know. Man. You know, we're gonna leave that as a wash. But let's start with Stokes. Eric Stokes, the signing of Eric Stokes. What do you think about that? Do you think this was a good re-signing, and what would be the grade that you give it?
Oh yeah, he played okay for us last year, right? So, and I'd probably give it a B.
A B?
Give it a B. Yeah, I'd probably give it a B. I know he's our starting corner, but I think that I wasn't that very impressed with him last year though.
Okay. Well, with Stokes, I'm gonna give this one the resigning a minus. I think that it's good whenever you can get a corner that you don't have to worry about so much who's going to play it, because when we started the season last year, we were trying to figure out who was going to play corner. We essentially put 2 new corners out there with Stokes, then we put Caillou Blue Kelly out there, and then eventually Darian Porter. So now that we have this offseason, went through the season, and then with the offseason, we signing him to lock him down for a couple years. I think it was smart, and I think it was competent, and I think overall it was good. Now what we got to see is if it translates on the field. So when we do this again later in the year, I hope his grade stays the same. So I'm going to give it an A minus. What's up, Jack Gustav?
What
Yeah,
up?
so give the grades in the chat what you guys think these grades are. Put the person's name in the grade. All right, let's go with Malcolm, as you call him, Koonce. Malcolm Koonce.
Mhm.
Koonce, back with his second prove it deal this year. After he's somebody that jumped off the radar for you, you really enjoyed his play at the end of the administration for Antonio Pierce, but he's been trying to prove it for the last two contracts. First year, I think he got like 11 million or something, 12 million like that, and then he getting 10 or 11 this year, like same deal, just a little bit cheaper. So with this grade, I'm going to give this a B minus because I think we should have got Chase on, but that's neither here nor there. So he's here again. It's not too often that you get another chance to do a prove it deal. He is coming off an injury. I think it was competent, but I just don't know if it's going to translate. But we never know because players, when their backs are against the wall, they tend to play a little bit better when they're trying to get the bag. So I'll give this a B minus. What about you, Pizzle?
I get this. I get this one an A minus. I think that because he got. I think because I'm a little biased, but I think because he got hurt, last year, and it takes a year to get better. So that was his get better year last year. So this year I'm expecting him to come back and have a little bit better of a little better more reliance on that knee, trust it a little more and be able to do more things that he was afraid to do last year.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you on that actually, but that's why I still keep my grades a B minus, um, because really I wanted to go C plus, but you're right, B minus because like you do give it a year. He didn't, overextend himself and get injured again, so that was a positive thing. And then also he doesn't have a lot of wiggle room when it comes to if he's going to have another contract or not, because he's not going to get another prove it deal. So this is his year. This is it. We can watch last year and give him a chance. So I'll give this a B. So I agree with you overall, though. Let's go with Thomas Booker the fourth. We gave him another chance at D tackle. What do you say about him?
Thomas Booker, he
Yeah.
was pretty decent last year, right? What did he get, 4 sacks?
No, I think he might have had one. Let me look it up.
Yeah, he might have only had one, but he did a pretty good job. I mean, he wasn't, I guess he wasn't that outstanding, but we need to have D tackles in the room. So, and I'm pretty sure he did a pretty good job on the run. If he was doing that, if he only got 1 sack, then he was supposedly stopping the run. Hopefully, so if he wasn't doing that, then there was a problem.
Yeah, so he had 44 combined tackles, 16 solo, 5 pass deflections, a forced fumble, and a fumble recovery. And he played 17 games, but he did not get a sack. So,
Oh,
what
but
was your grade?
he still got a forced fumble. Put out some effort, got some tackles. All right, 16 solos. All right, he was in on 44, so over 17 games. That's not bad. I give him a B minus.
Give him a B minus.
Yeah.
I'm gonna agree with you on this. I'm gonna give this one a B minus because it does give him some veteran presence, and I believe he hasn't really started much, and he's really getting his feet wet in that. He was productive. I would like to see some sacks from him, but maybe that's not his thing. Maybe his thing is to stop the run. So I do have my eye on how he played this year, but I do think he is on the bubble because if you don't produce, we have some younger guys that's really vying for a spot as well. So I'll give this one a B minus as well.
I mean, we're going to keep the defensive line fresh, right? So he's just another body out there that we can throw at him.
Mm-hmm.
Part of the tidal wave, hopefully.
All right, let's go with Jordan Meredith, the center slash guard. That's really not a center, but he is
A
was supposed to
guard.
be the real good guard. But now he seems like he's the odd man out right now because going through camp and everything, everyone's talking about. Um, they're talking about Caleb Rogers. It's not Jordan Meredith. Jordan Meredith, it seemed like his play at center kind of hindered his position on the field on the team because he essentially was doing that job for Pete Carroll because Pete Carroll didn't want to have JPJ, a young center, being the leader of the line. So they put Meredith there. Meredith was a fairly good guard before he played center. Tried to show some versatility, but now he's not the de facto player at that position to win that position again. I haven't heard his name really much as camp. I've heard his name likened to trade. So, and I even think that he might be even up for trade. So, Jordan Meredith, the grade I will give this re-signing, I will give this re-signing a B minus. I'm gonna give it a B minus. I'm gonna give it a B minus because it does give us depth. If he isn't in that position and if it's not going to cause a distraction in the locker room, then I think it's good. I think he has a chance to really come into camp and shock a few people because they already slotted these other people in there. Burford, like I said, Caleb Rogers, even Trey Zoom. These are names that's all been put above his. So I'm gonna give this a B minus signing because it didn't really cost us a lot. And I just think that if at the worst that it'd be a good depth piece on the O line, a place that we need to kind of shore up that position.
Yeah, I mean, if we're bringing him back as a guard for sure, but if back as a center, then yeah, I think that's a no go for your boy. After seeing what we seen last year, I think that's a big no go with the center. But guard, yeah, the guard the year before he did look decent, and like you said, he'd be a good depth piece. So I'll go along with you. I'll go with a B minus because we do need
Okay.
depth along the offensive line.
Yeah. So overall, with our resignings, overall, what would be the overall grade that you would give, the people that we resigned or retained?
Overall, that's going to be. I think it's going to be an A minus.
Okay. And I'll say that overall it's a B plus. So what do you guys think? You chat raiders, what do you guys think the overall grade of our re-signings and retained players overall? So we're gonna move along to our new signings. Okay. So let's start at the top of the list. My cousin Kirk. Kirk Cuzell, Kirk O'Bangs. What do you think? Oh, Kirk O'Changs.
Captain
What do
Kirk.
you think about Kirk? Yeah, Captain Kirk, as you call him. What do you grade this signing?
I grade this at a. I'll give him a an A minus on this because I think he's a lot more capable than the quarterbacks that we've had in the last few years. Uh, Definitely more capable than Jimmy G. He's definitely more capable than Minshew. And he's definitely more capable than AOC. So, uh, yeah, I'm gonna go with that.
Well, if you don't know nothing about this channel, you should know that I'm pro Kirk, cousin Kirk. I'm gonna give this one a A plus 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 plus. For sure, this is an A plus signing because even if we didn't get Mendoza, this would have been the best quarterback that we probably could have got for the situation that we have. There's so much upside with him. I know people are talking about he's 38. What I do know is, as a quarterback, is the longer you've been in the league, and you said these things, we had this conversation before. The longer you've been in the league as a quarterback, the harder it is for teams to confuse you or show you something that you haven't seen, and it just boils down to your performance. And his performance has been pretty consistent through his career. Yes, he was hurt 2 years ago, and it was a dip in his play because of Penix's situation, and he still ended up being the quarterback that had more wins than Penix. And last year, I think he finished at 5-3 record, 5-2, 5-3, one of the two. But I know he had 5 wins, which is almost twice the amount of wins the Raiders had. So I think it was a perfect signing. I think it was a perfect pick by Kubiak, somebody that he's already familiar with. I don't think there's anything else that could have really made this a bad signing other than his age, but I don't even think that's an issue. So I'm gonna give that one an A plus 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 plus.
All right.
He
I
said,
just want to see him. I just want to. I agree with you. I'm just more worried along how we're going to play. But I guess that's a playing grid. The signing grid, I guess I can agree with you. But I'm thinking more along the line is how is he going to play?
yeah, I'm talking about the signing, just the signing itself. Like looking at it, what we needed. Is this something that we needed, and what we got on for? Is it worth it? And despite Tech do his thing, basically that's what this boils down to. Despite Tech do his thing, the despite Hunter go out in the hunt, and it looks like because the people said we had an A off season, right, or an A draft grade, and I'm just thinking, how was our whole off season overall? Because it looked like our off season overall is in line with our drafting, because our off season, I mean our free agent signings, I think we did good there.
We absolutely did. This is probably our best offseason we've had in the last 30 years.
Yeah. What's up with you, not a bot? Jack Yates, you give it an A plus. Salute to the nation. Spy did a fantastic job. Yes. So what do you guys give this Kirk Cousins signing? We're talking the signing itself. All right, let's go. Let's see who else we got on what other hitter we got on the payroll. Tyler Linderbaum. Not the Linderbaum, it's the Linderbaum. This was a bombshell signing right here for us. We knew we needed to get a center, and we knew he was available. And the thing was, were we going to be able to pull it off? And we threw the bag at him. We for sure threw the bag at him. We gave him an offer he couldn't refuse. And he did not refuse. So what do you think about that signing?
That's an A plus for sure. We just talked about the guy that was Meredith that was there last year, and he got pushed back. He just got pushed back and bullied all year long, and it was just horrible. And luckily we're able to get this guy, because great centers like this don't come on the market very often. I'll tell you that right now, especially when they're young like this. Like most of the time, you gotta wait until they get old or older. But this guy's young. We got him like 4 or 5 years in. This is great. This is great news. This is celebration, bitches. It's a celebration.
Hey, I'm gonna agree with you on that. If Kirk Cousins was an A plus 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 plus, Tyler Linderbaum is out of this world. You know how you go to school and there's some students that have a 4.2 or a 4.3 or something like that, and you like, how do you get more than a 4.0? Like, this is one of them situations. Because like you said, Meredith was not the bee's knees. He was getting blew back like he was on vacation in Florida somewhere. So I don't know what was going on with that. But, hey, like you said, it's not normal to get a center of this caliber on the market. Not the age he was, and simply it was because it was a cap casualty, or a casualty of the contract, because he was on his rookie contract. They knew he was going to need big money, and then he was going to have to match or something, and they couldn't keep up because the Raiders had the bag. We had the bag. Spy Hunter did his thing because his Kirk Cousins contract, it seemed like it was a lot, but it really wasn't, and it gave us a lot of more wiggle room because we can restructure Cousins' contract next year if we decide to retain him, and we got him for the low this year because Atlanta got to pay most of his salary. We only paying like $10 million for $10 million plus his $1 million or whatever, so a total of $11 million. So
$11 million, $11 million for 1 year.
Yeah, so
that's
we
less
did
than $1 million a game.
You're right. That's less than that, right?
Yeah, it's
Well,
less
it
than a
could be.
million a game.
Yeah. So I mean, hey,
Shit.
I think this Linderbaum signing was definitely what we needed, and it shored up not shored it up, but it definitely put a stake in it. And like I say, two, we got two anchors now. When you have a yacht, you got to have two anchors. We got Colton Miller, and now we got Tyler Linderbaum. So I'm gonna give that an A plus plus. What y'all get at in the chat? A lot of people say this was the biggest signing right here.
It
The
was.
biggest signing, the best signing right here.
Mm-hmm.
He said we heard Baltimore feelings right there. We absolutely did. We heard it so much they took it out on Max because they essentially didn't want to give up Tyler Linderbaum and two first round picks and they get Max Crosby. That's what it looked like. And it probably felt like that for them because they never trade their first round picks. And they went out there and they tricked their whole bag off. And they was like, well, wait a minute. They got a return policy? Oh, yeah. So that's essentially what they did there. So you're right about that. I agree. Feelings, nothing more than feelings. Yes, they say he was rated the highest free agent on the market.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, too bad for the Ravens. We got Linderbaum, also Quiddy, because we thought Max was gone and had an extra cash. Yep, that was a genius move. Watch Henderson missed time this year for the Ravens, and I hope so. No, I don't hope so, but you're probably right.
We don't hope that on
So
anybody.
yeah, that's why I took that back. Took that back.
Unless
I
it's
don't want
Kansas
to
City or something.
do it.
Then we can hope it on them.
Yes, and you just brought up the name Quiddy Pay. Quiddy Pay got paid though. Quiddy Pay got paid. Now he didn't really get his numbers didn't jump off the chart, and I didn't really know who he was. And so we did do a breakdown of Quiddy Pay, and I can see what they're using. They're using it primarily to stop the run. That's what this defense is predicated on, stopping the run. Our defense is predicated on stopping the run. That's what we're going to do. Stop the run. Don't give up. Get big plays and get takeaways. That's what we are all about this year, y'all. Those are the three things. So Quiddy Pay is solid, and like you said, we were thinking we were moving on from Max, so we essentially gave him a little bit of extra cash and give him a little motivation. But I give this signing right here a solid B. I can't give it an A. He is a first round pick, but we need you to play like a first rounder this year. You did have 8 sacks in the last two previous seasons, so we need you to get somewhere around there, 6, 7 sacks, and stop the run and justify that bag. So I give this a solid B. What do you give it, bro?
Yeah, from what I've seen on the film that we watched, he looks really good. His looks real promising. He's good at stopping the run, and he gets pressure too. So, you know, I think he can move. He can work on either side of the line. So I don't think that bothers him, whether he's on the left side or right side. Although we did see him come off the left side a lot in the film that we've seen. So. But you know he might rotate in and out with Max, or they might put him on the other side. But overall, another B plus.
Yeah, they say you say Quiddy Pay is a DN, not a linebacker. I would agree. I would agree. I would agree. You said not a boss says it's a B minus for Quiddy. Yep. Yep. And just like Alex said about the Linderbaum pick, he was saying that they wanted their pick back. It's kind of like on Friday. He was like, "Clock's tripping. He
Yeah.
want his picks back." You know, I wouldn't even trip, Debo. What picks? You know, the 2 first rounders, the ones we talked about. Oh, I didn't know you wanted them back, homie. So he wanted their picks back. So we went and got Max back, and it's all good because now we got him with Quiddy Pay, and we got him some help this year. And I hope Max can ball out because he's coming off his injury. We need you to jump back into the game, bro. Let me see. It would have been a C minus if we didn't get Max back. Excellent point, not a bot. That's an excellent point. That is a very excellent point because for me, had we not got Max back, it for sure would be a C. Because I was like, "What are we doing? He's supposed to, bro." Like, I would have rather went and got somebody out the draft if that's what we was gonna go get for real. So I'm with you on that for real. Yeah, I agree. What you think about that? If we didn't get Max back, would that change your mind about how you think about the your grade?
Um, yeah, the only thing that maybe because the sack production isn't there. I mean, what did he have, like 4 sacks or something last year? He didn't have very many
Yeah,
sacks last year, but he
right.
does stop the run and he sets the edge, and he does get a lot of pressures. So he does his job well too. So that's another thing. So maybe I can't say for sure.
Okay. I hear you. I hear you.
Yes, he says he's in a different division. It's a different league. We're gonna see what he does over here in the AFC West.
Okay, let's go to the much needed position that we needed to handle, which was the linebacking core. Quay Walker. Quay Walker. What do you think about the signing of Quay Walker? Make sure y'all hit that like button. Let's get this in the algorithm. I mean, I'm not doing a super serious show. I'm not AOC bashing, and maybe
Mhm.
this is something a little more fun for us in the middle of the week, y'all. Before I go in on Friday, you know what I'm saying? So, hey, hit this out the algorithm. Hit the like button, please. So, Quay Walker, what do you think about Quay Walker?
I give this a B. I give this a solid B signing. We went and addressed something that we needed. We definitely need linebackers because last year our linebackers. Well, we had one good linebacker last year, Devin White, but the other ones were very questionable. But yeah, so we needed to shore up this linebacker, and he was available, and he was young too. So I'm all for it.
Yeah, I give this a B. I give it a B plus. I give it a B plus signing. I give it a B plus. Solid linebacker. Um, maybe not. I don't know. He definitely he had a lot of tackles last year. He gets 100 plus tackles, so he is what he is. And comparing it to, like you said, the linebackers that we've had in the past. I mean, like even with Spillane, who averaged like 120, 110 plus tackles or whatever, even with him, um, I think this linebacker with 100 tackles is going to look a little bit better than him because I think he's going to come downhill and make tackles versus trying to find the ball carrier and run him down and then tackle him. It's slightly different. So I'm gonna give this a B. Quay Walker is a B.
Yeah, I think he's going to be in there like a missile. You know what I mean? Like
Mm,
he's going to fill his gap, and he's going to know where that. Like you said, a lot of guys like that guy's hesitant. He's looking for the ball. This that. Other guy's a little bit more directive. He knows where it's going. He knows what he's got to do. It's like a missile. It's like a heat-seeking missile.
okay. What about the other linebacker? His Georgia brother, N'Kobe Dean from the Eagles.
I'll let
Another
you.
big signing, top tier. Well, not the toppest of tiers, but better, like higher tier
Then
linebackers that
we
we
got.
got. Yeah. So, so what do you think about N'Kobe Dean?
Yeah, you go ahead. You go first on this one.
Okay, N'Kobe Dean for me. N'Kobe Dean, I think this is a definitely a B signing. It's just that I don't like how much money we threw at him, knowing that he's injury prone. So that probably means he's going to miss some games at some point this year, whether it be minimum or not. Hopefully, it's only minimum. And the style of linebackers they're thumpers. So I can expect some injury to some degree a little bit. So I like the signing, and I liked it coupled with Quay Walker's, which kind of makes it a solid C. But for me, the money we gave him and he's injury prone, that's what gets the minus for me. So I'm gonna give him a B minus.
Yeah, I hear you on that. I was thinking about either C or B minus. I'm just but the signing is like you said. I'm kind of looking at a little bit ahead of time. Like you said, like the injuries and all of that stuff. I'm kind of weighing that in because you kind of do have to weigh that in. Because the best ability is availability, right? So
Hmm.
and we threw the bag at him. So not only do we know he's injury prone, but we also threw the bag at him. So that's like doubling down on stupid. Stupid.
Yeah, spit. Alec gives both of them the B plus for the signing itself. So I can respect that B plus. I start off with the B, and
Yep.
it still goes down to a B minus because we do know his history. We are taking that into account. But now, if he doesn't get injured this year, then he's going to be no less than a B plus. It will end up
Yeah,
being an
he's
A
gonna.
minus.
Yeah, he might
Yeah,
be an A if he don't get injured. But
yeah,
that's a lot of if and buts.
yeah. And it says, not a bot says, I do like that they paired up old college teammates here, like they did with the AZ guys in the secondary. I'll be watching closely to see how the experiment works out. Yeah, I think it's going to work out pretty well, but I hear you though. You want to see how, I mean, how it actually translate on the field. So I'm with you on that. Let's see who was next. All right. We go to the wide receiver position, probably our most lacking position. Jalen Speedy Naylor, wide receiver, who we got from um, Minnesota. So Naylor definitely playing behind Jordan Addison and your boy that they kept trying to put on our team, Justin Jefferson. It's easy to get lost in a wash of that, but if you can hold your own a little bit, the third wide receiver often gets overlooked. Now, here's his chance to step up from out of their shadows and then maybe rise to a real good, competent number two receiver. A lot of people are trying to put him at the number one. I think that's just a big ask for him to jump like that. But I think he can come in and be a solid number two and then build from that and maybe get to number one. But the signing itself, though, I think it was a good signing. Um, I'm I'm happy that we got him. Um, we just don't know yet about it. So I'm gonna give it a B. I'm gonna give it a B. Just the signing itself. I know we haven't known a lot about him, but I do know about him. I just don't know what his ceiling is. You know. So can he get better to another level? I don't know. So I'm gonna give it a B minus.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Maybe probably gonna give him a B, a solid B, because he's gonna bring a little bit of a veteran experience over here, I
Mm,
think,
yeah,
and we need that in here, and he's gonna show these guys a little bit of something. I don't know how much, but hopefully he can teach these guys something. Maybe how to get in and out of their breaks faster, or something how he prepares, or I don't know. There's all kinds of stuff that you pick up while you're watching somebody else. Doing mental
yeah.
reps. When you're mental repping.
You mental repping.
Yeah, when you're mental repping, and so and just strategy and how he sees the game. Every wide receiver, just like every other player, just sees it differently. And all these
Yeah,
guys got so. And Kirk Cousins is familiar with them, so he knows. So they're going to be on the same page pretty much,
yeah,
right from the start. So that's also another advantage. Gives us another advantage with it, bringing him over here. So I like the signing, like you said. There's nothing wrong with it. He's didn't really get a chance. Like give
yeah.
AOC a chance, give Naylor a
Give
chance.
me one more chance.
Yeah, give Naylor a chance, bruh. Like he can't get a chance
Dude,
over
bruh.
there, dude, bruh.
Dude, bruh. Give him a chance, dude, bruh.
Give him a chance, dude, bruh. Yeah,
You're right.
because he over there with Jefferson and other dude, he definitely ain't getting no chance, no chance
Right.
in hell.
Yeah. Not a bot gives him a B plus. And Alec gives him a B grade. So it's pretty consistent. Frank Webb, Big Webb says, I'm a bit suspicious that we didn't focus on wide receiver more. Hopefully our staff sees more than I do. And see, this is what I have to say about that. And and you said it really, really well, Pizzle, is the wide receiver is a position where you can add that at any time. Matter of fact, it might be one of the last ones that you want to add because you can plug and play a good wide receiver, a competent wide receiver. And then sometimes for me, and then I furthered the thought, and I'm like, well, as a wide receiver, if you get a wide receiver and he's good, and the team is not at that level, the diva is going to just even diva even more, and it's going to be like I'm doing my job, and so like he peaks and the team is not there, then it's a disconnect. It's kind of like T.O. did with the Eagles. The Eagles thought they was on this level. T.O. was really still on this level, and then it became a problem. You know what I'm saying? So, and I know that's kind of stretching it because they were in the Super Bowl, but what I'm saying is just the dynamic. So I think that once we had decided that we need to plug up the defense, like we need to get the secondary together. Once we got Trayden Stukes, whom we'll talk about in a minute, in a little bit, I knew that we were prioritizing defense. And my first initial reaction was, well, we need another safety too, and we addressed that too as well. And so we got our secondary together. Wide receiver wasn't necessary a priority because we just recently got two wide receivers last year in the draft, and we really didn't get to see what they were capable of. So I think they just wanted to see what we had before we fixed that part, because that's the part that is probably the easiest to fix. It's definitely easier to fix than trying to find a competent safety or to find a competent nickel back or even a competent cornerback.
Or a
So that's why I
quarterback.
think of it. Or a quarterback, yeah. So that's what I think about that, Brody. He says he's supposed to be. I mean, he played in St. Kubiak's system before, so this is a really good pickup. Jack Yates give it a B. What's this one? Are you buying what I'm selling, Webb? That's what I really think. You buying what I'm selling? That's what I think. Do you think I need to give it one ice cube, two ice cubes, four ice cubes? You think? Just let me know, brother. So let's see. Okay, this is a pick. This was an interesting pick, and it was an early signing too. Spencer Burford from the Phony Niners. The Phony Niners. You know how I feel when I see something about the Phony Niners. Oh,
They phony.
Where's my thinking?
If you're not a fan, what it do? Marshawn Lynch said, I'm a Raider.
I'm a Raider, though.
I'm a Raider. Well, he's a Raider now, though. So Spencer Burford, what do you think about him in this signing, Fizzle?
I think it's a good pickup. I think I'm gonna give it a B. I give out a lot of B's, so I'm gonna give this a B too. Because I mean, he did start a few games last year for Shanahan, so he's familiar with the stretched offense, stretch zone offense, and so he might be a good depth piece because that's what he was over there. He wasn't really a starter, but he might be able to come over here and bully his way in and be a starter here.
Yeah, that's a good point. At the least, he'll be a depth piece. Not a bot gives this a C plus. When I first heard it, I thought C plus. I'm not gonna lie. I thought C plus, and then I started looking, and it was like he has experience in the system, so that's going to bring a level of continuity already because we're already going to have Linderbaum, we're
And
going to have our boy
confidence.
Colton, and so we can put somebody there competent just off the bat, that's going to make that good. And we got JPJ, and then we have DJ Glaze, who's been solid. So essentially, it's not like we're starting with a whole new line. It's essentially we're starting with one really player that we don't know about. And I saw that he didn't give up a lot of sacks.
No, he didn't.
I like that. I like that. So for that reason, I'm going to give him a B minus. I don't think he might. I think he might start to. I know. I think he's going to be the number one going into camp. I don't know if he's going to survive it. Caleb Rogers thing, I'm just not necessarily seeing it like everybody's seeing it. Maybe I'm hoping that's more my emotions more than my logic. But I'm thinking Burford might have the edge on him. And like I said, at the worst, it could be a death piece for us. Let's see what you guys say. Gerald said it's a playoff team. Hey, I'm not too far from thinking that, bro. I'm not too far off. I might be like 1 or 2 degrees of separation there. Alex said, I am not impressed. Not impressed. Man. He gave it a C.
Okay.
Webb says I usually take it straight. No chaser, right? Certainly agree with your point. Okay, thanks, brother. Gerald said it's a A.
See, so that makes up for your C.
Right. Frank Weber says he saw Burford and Frisco trying not to hold that against him. Yeah, I feel you on that. I understand. I do agree with that. I feel that way about every Niner that come over here. But recently we've been doing pretty good with getting players from them, so I'm not as iffy about it. That's why initially that C plus felt so right. That C plus felt so right to give him that grade. So I definitely agree with you. Yes, they say yes. Burford knows Kubiak's zone scheme. Yep. So I think that's what's going to get him really a good chance to, good edge. Thank you. That'll give him a good edge. All right, let's see. Sagoon Olobi, I'm not really. I don't really know a lot about him. And let's see, Connor Hayward, a fullback. How do you feel about that?
Well, I guess we're going to need a fullback in this scheme of things that we're doing over here with this West Coast offense spread zone run, the thing that they do, which is cool. So that's all right. I guess I'll give him a B. I don't know. I've never seen him play, but I guess it's an okay signing.
Yeah, I'm teetering between a B plus and an A minus. I think I want to give it an A minus because we got the fullback. Plus, he's a competent fullback, so it's somebody we can rely on. He also does he does other things. He catch the ball, gadget player, also push. So he's multi-dimensional. So he's not just a fullback that just blocks, and then every now and then we throw him the ball. We can really implement him into the scheme. So I'm gonna give this an A minus. I'm gonna give him an A minus because of his versatility. And he's last of the dying breed. So that means he's definitely probably really, really good at it because there's not that many of them. Only the best ones still stay around for system fits. So I'm gonna give this one a A minus, and I'm really, really curious to see what the chat raters come up with on this one. Oh yeah, see not about tight end 3.
Twan.
Yep, Raider Twan. Hey, if you want to pull up, Twan is good. Gerald gives this an A. He gives it an A. Weber gives this an A plus. Okay. Special teams player Alex Lobi would say a B. Okay, I'm gonna take your word for it, brother. We'll take your word for it for sure. Because he must be something. We resigned him. We're good with you, Raider Twan. But fullback Hayward an A minus sounds right. He said, "Did you see Mendoza on the rush?" I meant to answer that last night. I did see that, and I am going to respond to that. It was a lot of good little gems and nuggets in there on both sides, from Max Crosby's perspective about how he's looking at things, and also Mendoza. It was a really, really good podcast. I really don't watch his podcast a whole lot like that, but I did watch that one because it was Mendoza. So we will be talking about that.
Well, I ain't watch it.
So, so I'm gonna give my man Connor Hayward. You know, and that's the son of Ironhead, Craig Hayward. Y'all might not know about Ironhead.
I know who Ironhead is. He used to play for the Aints.
So what about Derek Young? We resigned Derek Young. What grade God give Derek Young?
Derek Young, what position is I couldn't see that.
He's like wide receiver. I kind of figure I got to figure you might not know a whole bunch. He's like a receiver, maybe special teams, maybe return team.
Yeah, he might be something like that. I don't. Yeah, you're right. I absolutely do not know who he be.
Yeah, so you guys know about Derek Young. Give me a grade for that. I don't know. He said a B plus. Oh, a sneaky B. I like that. A sneaky B. He could be a sneaky B. He's got, he could be sneaky. You're right. We'll go with that. Sneaky B. Let me see. I don't know. He will make the 53. Uh-oh. That means he's going to have to sneak on the team. Yates say B. You don't know if he does, it's got to be a special teams because the wide receiver room is already kind of packed.
Yeah, it's kind of full. Sneaky 53.
He'll be a secret weapon. It's all good, brother. You know I'm praying for you and praying with you.
Yeah. Get better, man.
Yeah. Okay, let's go with Matt A with the G being silent. This is a new signing that had me like Scooby Doo and Shaggy like. So we got Matt A with the G being silent. I know he's from the 49ers. I think he got kicked off before the whole year, but either way it go, he's an ex-Niner too. So what do you think about this signing?
I'm sorry, you lost me.
Matt A with the G being silent. Matt Gay.
I was in my ADD world right there. What you talking about, Willis?
The kicker, Matt Gay.
Oh, the Tokyo Toe guy?
No, Matt Gay from the 49ers.
Oh,
he don't know y'all.
Oh, I don't know. That might be a D. Yeah, I'll go with this guy because I think that guy sucked over there. That's why he's over here now.
Yeah, he definitely missed a few kicks. I think like 6 kicks last year.
Yeah. Why do we want to bring him over here though? Then.
Well, we didn't have a kicker, so he's like good within 50 yards. But like I keep telling people, I need our kicker to kick 55, 56, 57, 58, fringe 59. Yeah, 60.
63
with the balloon ball. So like I get that we needed to bring in another kicker, but I mean, like if we were gonna get a kicker that's like inconsistent and can only kick for 50 yards, I would rather go bring back Carlson on a reduced rate. You know, at least he boosted that 60. He busted that 60-yarder to beat Kansas City to kick 5 field goals that game or something like that. And so I would at least rather have him come back with a reduced rate in his money versus bringing in Matt A with the G being silent.
Well, I might have gave him a bunch of incentives. Maybe I would have, like you said, I cut his pay, and we put incentives in there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
percentages.
That's what I'm talking about. This is how we need to start dealing with players right now. Is we got to start dealing with with production percentages. You know what I'm saying? Like if you want this kind of money, well then you got to hit these kinds of achievements. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, it looked like the nation did not like this signing right here. Kicker C.
Yeah.
Girl says D. Not a box says D. Yanks say D. I was gonna give it a C minus, but and Frank Webb says pretty sure Tokyo Toe gets the gig. Gerald say he can't kick over 50 yards.
Yeah.
Ray Antoine say C minus. Gerald said 38 special would be better than A with the D being silent. And not about agrees with me about you and I about Carlson. Like we could have brought him back, but at a reduced price because he really once he got that bag, his production just dropped and dropped and dropped significantly too. So I see why we got rid of him. I mean, I see why we got rid of him, but for what we brought in, I'd rather dealt with him anyway.
Water
I would have
boy,
rather done.
you're fired.
Yeah, I would have rather dealt with him anyway. So I'm gonna give this one. I'm with y'all. What I said I was gonna give this a C minus. Yeah, I'm gonna give it. Oh. I want to agree with y'all with the D plus. I'm gonna go with the. I'm gonna go with the D plus with it. Yeah, I'm D plus, man.
I did. I had to go with the D.
What's to say a G minus? Oh, he said a G minus. Oh, yep. He said a G minus. That's why I said it was
Garbage.
a G minus. Or as in garbage. Okay. All right. Fine. All right, so let's go with Ian Thomas, the tight end that we brought back, the blocking tight end, sometimes catching, but mostly blocking tight end. What do you guys feel about this? I'll go first on this one. I think Ian Thomas was necessary. We definitely need blocking um, from everyone, all our receivers and our tight ends. So I see why we brought him in. He was solid for what they wanted to do. They seen enough from him last year to bring him back. I'll give this one I don't know, C plus. I don't know if it moves the needle. I don't think he's going to get many receptions, maybe not even, no more than a touchdown or two. But he will be intricate. So I'll give it a C plus because he's necessary, but I just don't see it moving the needle.
Well, I think we're going to run a lot of 12 and 13 package because that's what Kubiak likes to do, and he's proven last year that he can catch the ball at least, and we might need him to come in and stay for blocking when on those third downs when Brock's got to go out and make a catch or something. When he's going to scheme up a certain kind of play for the robot god.
From
So,
heaven.
yeah. And so, I'm all right with the signing, but like you said, I don't really think it agrees, moves some needle that much, and he brings depth to the room too. So, I'm with you though. I'll give it a C or whatever. I give it a C. I'm not really that impressed with it.
Yeah. Let's see what y'all come up with. It said if it weren't for him, we wouldn't have Mendoza. If it wasn't for who? Who's we talking about? Oh, for Carlson? Let's see. Alex gives this a C plus. Not a boss said C, I guess. I'll be like, what grade did I give it? I forgot. What grade, did I give it a B minus? A B? Did I say B minus? Can y'all tell me what grade I gave it? Because now when I heard the C, I was like, I could see the C. Maybe a C plus, right? He said we could use Hayward for that, possibly. Tight ends are in effect with pass blocking are few and far between. Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that. Yeah, what grade did I give Thomas? Ian Thomas? I forgot just that fact. Now I didn't have an ADHD moment. I just had an AD moment. I didn't have the HD part. It didn't fully load.
I think you gave him a C.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't have a fully. It didn't fully load. So overall, our new signings overall. What would you give the grade overall out of all the signings that we did? What would you give it? We got Kirk Cousins, Tyler Linderbaum, Quiddy Pay, Quay Walker, N'Kobe Dean, Jalen Naylor, Spencer Burford, Saguna Luby, Connor Hayward, Tariq Young, Matt A with the G being silent, and Ian Thomas.
I'm gonna go with an A minus.
A minus overall?
Yeah.
Gerald is it an A, B plus? You give it an A- overall for all that?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it. I mean, of course, Cousins is an A plus plus plus, and the Tyler Linderbaum is an A plus plus plus. What he pay kind of drops a little bit for me, but not a whole lot. Quay and Walker kind of good. Naylor, Burford. Yeah, I'm thinking B plus.
You lost a lot of pluses, huh? Because he was A plus 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 plus
I
plus.
know, right? You're right. Actually, I'm gonna go with A minus. You're right.
Lost a lot of pluses there, bruh.
Yeah, it was a lot of pluses for it not to end up being an A. You're right. Because I think even if a few of them guys don't perform, like Derek Young and Alubi, and even Matt Lane with the G being silent, Kirk Cousins and Tyler Linderbaum make up for all that. So you're right. I'm gonna go with an A minus on that one. You're
Yeah,
right.
I have to agree. Well, not just him. I mean, you got Naylor. You got a couple other guys that help pick up the slack. You know.
Yeah, yeah. Webb says it's a B plus for the semester, subject to change for the finals, though. Right.
Yeah.
So
Well, we won't really know the real grade until after next season. That's
yeah,
when they all play for the full year or whatever. When we actually see how the season went. When we get some
yeah.
stats.
Some statisticals.
Well, no, they call it data now, but it's really just stats. It used to be stats,
Is
not
data
data.
or analytics.
Yeah, or analytics. Yeah, went from stats to data to analytics.
Analytics, right. Till we get the analytics.
So we can get
So
all the analytics in this shit.
so it's funny though, because a lot of times people say you don't build your team, with the free agents and all that other stuff, which is generally true. You don't want to try to rebuild your team through that. But the way our team was structured, we had so many holes that we needed to plug up, but we couldn't address them all in the draft, although we had 9, 10, 1100 picks, right? So I think we did fairly well with our offseason, re-signings and getting people out the draft. I mean, getting people out the free agent pool, because
Mhm.
Kirk Cousins was definitely a good one. Tyler Linderbaum. I mean, even the Kobe Dean and Quay Walker, to grab all those guys that had the money to throw at a quiddy pay and all that. So I think we did fairly well. And then the money, as far as the money, I mean, in this situation, it ain't tricking if you got it, because you got to trick it. So they did it. I think they just tricked it appropriately. They brought back home at least something attractive for us to be excited about. But what they do say what you do is you do build through the draft. And
Yep.
this is our draft. Now, the question is going to be, um, what are we going to give to Greg? Because a lot of people say we knocked the ball out the park on our draft. So let's go down this fairly quickly, because I'm
Yeah.
sure we've done these at some point, but we want to see, how do we feel about these players now after OTAs and, what we've been hearing. Webb says about the other one, says a few of those guys still have question marks, and 2 or 3 probably don't make the opening day roster. If they don't, then I'm going to have to change my grade to a B. So I'm going to have to go with that. So let's start with the first round pick. El Capitan Fernando Mendoza, the future face of the franchise. What do you give that grade? Because I know a lot of people was like, we should trade back, and he's not even this, and he's not that, and he's only this good. And I thought it only made sense that we go
He'd
get
be
a
a, he'd be a third or
franchise.
fourth rounder next year, right? I
Yeah.
know all of this. I know all of these things, but no, I
So
think
what
I
would you give
think
it?
I'm giving it an A plus. We had to get him when we had to get him, or else we weren't going to get him. We're not going to be this bad next year. I know that a lot of people are like, well, yeah, he's probably not even going to start or nothing this year. They're not planning on starting him this year, so he's in no hurry. He's got to learn. He's got a certain amount of goals he's got to meet to get on the field. Just like when you're going to drive a race car, they're not just going to let you go hop in it and drive it around the course. You got to go through the steps before you even get in the car. So you get baby steps. He's got to baby step his way onto the field. I don't know if you ever seen that movie with Bill Murray, but you ought to go check it out.
Yeah, I'm with you on the baby steps. And Webb said something really, really dope yesterday on on our live stream, that would you give your teenage kid a car with a bad brake job, with no insurance, and no paperwork, you know what I'm saying? Like no insurance, no registration. Would you do that? Like, no, you wouldn't do that. So I think this was definitely a competent signing. I think it was time, because it's rare that we're in position to be able to even get a franchise. So we always happen to be just good enough to not get a top pick, but bad enough to see it, you know? So even like the number 6 pick with Genty, you know, it's on the outside of the top 5, you know. So at the same time, I think this was our moment, and we couldn't have got a better quarterback as far as for what we're trying to do with the coach that we have. I mean, they're connected spiritually, they're connected cerebrally,
Surreal.
cerebrally,
Yeah,
cerebrally, even if that's a word. But they're connected there. We couldn't have got a smarter guy. We couldn't have. So he looks the part. He is the part. He's as advertised. And I think that we're in a good position where we don't have to throw him out there and hope that he can tread water and turn the franchise around. We're just building blocks, building blocks, building blocks. So I think that this was an A+ for us. For me, I thought this was our time. I'm glad we did it. It remains to see how it plays out. But according to what we needed to do, we made the right play. So I give it an A+. Let's see what the nation give it. Let's see. What's the grade you guys give this? Oh, how about O for obvious? Bruce Willis was good with you. Let me see. 10 wins. Oh, you guys are talking. Okay. So
Bruce Willis.
A+, Bruce Willis give this an A+ as well. That's good to see. That's good to hear. A+er for Fernando El Capitan Mendoza. All right. Then our second pick. This is the pick that the Raider Nation was whining and crying about, but they in love with now. But it's okay. It's okay to start off stupid and end up smart. It's better than starting off smart and ending up stupid. So I'm glad that we kind of turned the corner on this, because when I saw this pick, I was excited. This is where I said we need to go out and get another one, because we needed a free safety. Like we needed nothing else. Before we needed a D tackle, before we needed a wide receiver, we needed a free safety. So Traden Stukes, Arizona Wildcat. What do you think? And if you guys haven't seen my page, I've talked about him enough. So you should know what I'm gonna get his grade. What do you get his grade, Pizzle?
What is it now?
Traden Stukes.
Oh yeah, the guy, the safety guy. Yeah, I know who you're talking about. Yeah. So yeah, they're gonna probably bring him in and use him as like you said, the free safety for the nickel, and then or use him as a robber, and then bring Palomalu in as the strong safety. But you know they've been doing all kinds of things over there, or they were in camp that they were talking about. So yeah, I definitely I wasn't too sold on it, but when we first did it, but I guess it kind of what do they call that?
Grew on you.
Yeah, it's like a cancer and shit. It grew on your boy.
Well, I think what happened was is people got more information about him than they understood the pick. And then not only that, they understood the pick once they saw the rest of the draft as well, too. Like you can actually see what Spy Tech and company was thinking at the time, because we kept trying to think we need a D tackle right here. Why we not getting a wide receiver? So that's why the nation was upset. But that also let me know that we're not caring about what the nation wants. I'm talking about what the top down is thinking about. They have their plan and they're going to go to execute it. So I think a lot of people have turned the corner on this pick right here. It looks like Joe gives it a A+. Yates say a A. Bruce Willis says B plus with the potential of an A plus. And Bruce, you might not have been here early. This is just the draft pick itself, not how he's going to play, because I know we haven't going to be able to see what the real grade is until then. I'm just saying, at the time of the pick, when we made the pick, do you think it was a good grade at that time? What's the grade you want to give it for what the at the time that we grabbed him? But I definitely respect that. A minus B plus. AE says he said me personally, Mendoza A minus B plus. He'll be what they say, he'll be really good in the future. Yeah.
Sorry, man, I gotta cut out. It's 4 o'clock. I gotta go prep my chicken. I gotta go get
It's
my
all
dinner.
good, bro.
Right
All right.
on, guys. Right on, chat. I'll see you guys later. Good seeing you. I'll talk to you later, brother.
Yep. All right. So Bruce Willis said, okay, a B plus. And Raider Knight, what's up with you, brother? You give it an A. Okay. So it seems like a lot of us like this pick, and hopefully it does pan out the way we expect it to. All right, here we go. The number 3 pick, Trey Zoom, guard from Texas A&M. I was really juiced about this pick because we did address the line. The line, I thought our line wasn't as bad as it was advertised. I knew that we were only maybe 1 or 2 players away from really making this a solid line. And being that we got Kubiak, I've seen him take worse players that ranks like high 50s, low 60s. Individually, they're not that good, but he collectively made them and elevated them as a team with the play calling to the strengths and away from the weaknesses and all that. And so for us to get a Swiss Army knife of an old lineman that can play many positions, which adds depth, and he might be pushing for a starter, because I definitely think he's going to be one of those guys that once he gets in, it's going to be hard to take him out. So I give this one A minus. I, I want to give it I want to give it a solid A. But the thing is, when you're a jack of all trades, are you a master of any of them? So where would he really be his best at? Because we won't need him at left tackle, and I think guard is probably more appropriate for him because they were saying his arm length, and we know he's not going to play center. So I want to give it an A minus. I really like the pick. I just don't like that he's not specialized in anything yet. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but the versatility definitely makes him an A-type caliber player. All right. It says an A. It said B by Bruce Willis. He's a really good run blocker and good pass blocker. If we struggle to score, it's Mendoza's the reason. He gets a B plus, an A. Okay. Zoom will surprise some, but not me. That young man gets an A. Yeah, he shouldn't surprise. He shouldn't surprise people. Well, it might. It could be people outside of the Raider camp that should be surprised. We shouldn't be surprised with that. Anytime you get an O lineman that can play all the positions, that should tell you all you need. That should tell you a lot about that player. He's smart. That's what we're calling in. We're getting a lot of smart people, high character people, intelligent people. Everything else can probably be coached. So I'm with you guys on that. I'm gonna give that an A as well. Let's see who's next. Our round 3 pick. Oh no, I'm tripping. I jumped over Keyron Crawford. He was around. Well, I guess it's a round 3 pick as well. He just was picked before Trey Zoom. My bad. Mental reps. He was taking mental reps. Keyron Crawford. This is somebody I was very high on, and I'm really, really excited about this guy. He just kind of got he started off kind of shaky with his first presser, and they just instantly jumped in. It was like, why weren't you practicing today? And he was like, man, I did a little too much yesterday. I was taking mental reps. As a player, when you hear mental reps, you're like, oh man, what you mean mental reps? But I know it's precautionary. I'm just giving him a hard time because of that. But I like this guy. I think he's He's going to be a good weapon for us. I hope he can come around that edge and get a lot of sacks. And so for me, I want to give this a B. Could be a B plus, but because we're running a 3-4 and he can cover a little bit, so I do want to give this a B plus. So I'm gonna give Keyron Crawford a B plus. So I'm really interested in what you guys say about that, and hit the like button if you guys agree with that, and hit the dislike button if you don't agree with that. So let's see what you guys give it. Keyron gets a B. Protect your mentals and get a bit. Hey, you know what? Hey, you know what? Yeah, you gotta take care of your mentals. You're right. So I definitely gave it a B. So I got you there. Yates says a B. Okay, nice. So Keyron Crawford. Well, I'm looking for big things from him. He jumped in the pool and everything. And I was hoping he didn't hurt himself, but he was really excited. And I think he really wants to be a Raider. And he said he wants to be great. He wants to be better than Max Crosby. I know that's a lot for somebody to say, but for me, when I hear a player that willing to put it out there like that, I'm with it. Let's go. If he the standard, let's break it. That's the type of players we need. It starts with your mentality. What they say, your attitude determines your altitude. So I like that his altitude is where it is. So I'm happy about that. I'm gonna give him a straight B, B plus. Okay. Oh, this was a steal. This is the steal, y'all. Still alert. Still alert. This is one of our steals. We got a few steals up here. Still alert. In the fourth round, pick 22, Mike Washington Jr. I call this guy bad intentions. When he run, he be running with bad intentions. You see how violent he run? 4-3, the dude 6'2". It's gonna be a nice switch up from Genty. And it also pushes Genty a little bit. Because if this guy come out here and I ain't saying he gonna take Genty job and none of that stuff, but what I'm saying is if he go out there and bop a 50-yarder, bop a 40-yarder, bop a 60-yarder, oh yeah, Genty gonna be like, oh, hold up. You coming from the number one spot, guy. So I really like this pick. And I'm glad that we got a backup and a competent running back because we had Dylan Lobby back there. We didn't know. I mean, I get it. He fumbled the first time. He fumbled in camp. I get it. He only got one registered fumble, but we know he let go of the ball. That's the same issue that Mike Washington Jr. have. So that's what I'm looking for out of him to not give up so many fumbles. I think he fumbled 17 times and they recovered 9 of them back. So that's a lot. Uh, I'm talking about in his college career. So, and last year I think he had a few fumbles. So I think this pick is a solid B. It remains to see how he's going to perform, but he's definitely run well in the scheme as far as putting that foot in the dirt with that one cut and 88 and be out the gate. He's trying to get to the house, like the street lights just came on, then yeah, I think he's going to be a solid B. And I think this blocking from this line is going to really illuminate his skills. So let's see what you guys say. He's like DeMarco Murray. Okay. McCoy and Washington's are steals. Exactly. That's why I said we got a couple steals. Oh, you give McCoy an A? I can see it. I can see an A. I can see an A. Bruce would say a strong B plus. Yates say A. Joe says an A plus. Alex says I like Crawford. Ain't high. A plus. Crawford fell out. No, yeah, Crawford fell in our lap. Easy choice. I'll give it a B plus. Nice. Washington was a solid choice. Another B plus. Nice, nice, nice. Yeah, I give this a solid B. I just don't like the fumble Ruski. I don't like that. I heard him in camp tell him keep that ball high and tucked because they come in punching the ball. They come in trying to strip the ball. So overall, though, I do like it because he could have been like one of the top 3 or 4 running backs in this draft, but the running backs wasn't really deep in this draft outside of Love, I believe. But I could be wrong on that. That one could be a little higher. But we'll do this again once in like mid-season to see if they're panning out to what we think they're going to be. Now, here's the guy that I want everybody to really pay attention to. This is the pick that we end up getting, I believe, because we got rid of our boy to the Saints. See, when you leave the team, I forget your name already, but we got Dalton Johnson, safety out of Arizona. I think this is the most valued pick for the position, like fifth rounder, and for what he's going to end up being for us. Like, I want to give this an A, right? But that it's kind of predicated on I think he's going to end up being kind of like with Stooks back there, and they're going to be our new tandem for a long time. I just don't think he's going to start now, but I do think he's going to work his way on the field. I love his attitude because he said he's willing to do anything, special teams, everything, anything. He just want to participate. He want to be part of the function. So I love his attitude. I love the fact that it gives Stooks versatility. He doesn't always have to play free safety, or we don't have to sneak Palomalu back there as much. Because I would like to see Palomalu back there now that he have a little bit of experience getting French toast all year last year. So, but with Dalton, that gives us a chance to put him in the nickel. And he's a hitter. He's a thumper. He's a sleeper. So I think he's really, really for the value. He's our best pick for the value. I think he's our best pick. I think that's in the future. Could be nearer than further, but I'm going to give this a solid B plus. Oh, C plus to B. Okay. Dalton has to prove himself. He can be more than C plus. Time will tell. Okay. Girl says hidden gem. Yeah, thank you, Tyree. Kyrie. Yep. John L says, I think we still need a top wide receiver. We'll go get it. And the thing about not getting a wide receiver in this draft, like I said, we can plug and play wide receiver play. If we do find out that this running back, this wide receiver class is really just a lot to be desired, we can go get us a nice wide receiver in the first 2 rounds. And then we'll go get a boy. And then that gives like Benson a chance to kind of mature after a year, and maybe Bash will probably mature, elevate his game. And you never know, Dante Thornton might really do his thing, because I think people are kind of out on him already. I'm pro DT. So I think we will see, but we'll see. Let me see. So you guys kind of see him as like a C plus. He has to prove himself. Like I said, I think people kind of not sleeping on him. It's just like they're kind of not sure. But we're talking about a fifth round pick, and that continuity that he's going to have with Stooks is going to be important. And we needed to pick up another safety to shore up the back end of our defense. All right. Here's a lot. This is a fan favorite right here. Our fifth pick, number 175, Hezekiah from Cal Berkeley, masses. He appealed to the masses. The masses like him. So yes, Hezekiah Walker. I keep on calling Hezekiah Walker the gospel singer, but Hezekiah Masses. He takes the ball away. I think he plays really, really good at corner. I think with the knock on him, a lot of people, his teammates were saying that he's just not really, really physical. He might just be a little light in the tail. But you heard Clint Kubiak like, hey, all that's cool, but let's see how you smoke. Let's see how you tackle. Tackle is an attitude. Let's see your business decision. Speaking of business decision, can y'all, if you're not already subscribed, go on and hit the you feel me right underneath your screen where it says subscribe back. Go on and hit the you feel me. So then that way when we go live, you can participate and be part of the chat raiders. So do that for your boy, for the boy. But I like this pick. And I'm not really super concerned about him not being aggressive or a tackler. It's only kind of recent, like corners, they definitely need to know how to tackle. It used to be a time like even Deion said they don't pay me to tackle, they pay me to cover. Well, in this modern football, you got to tackle because if them running backs get to the edge, it could be bad boy killers. They out of here. Eddie West, as I used to call it. When I used to get an interception and run it back to the house, I used to call it Eddie West because that's how you going back to Oakland, like Eddie West. So I think that's going to be. I think he's going to be good. I hope he gets his weight up. I hope Deuce Gruden get him in that weight room and he start making better business decisions and come up there and make some tackles. Just hit him low, bro. Don't try to do too much. Just hit them low. Take out them legs. They can't go nowhere without them legs. Let's see how y'all feel about Hezekiah. Masters good ball skills, solid B. Jack Yates says, "Hey, I always like and appreciate DBs with a nose for the ball. Me too. Me too. That's something that we not that a lot of DBs aren't looking for the ball now. They're just not simply trying to get the interception. And I love players that when the ball is in the air, it's not 50-50. It's like 90-10 mines. So I like him too as well. Weber said McCoy is a risk, but well worth the price. Another A for the good guys. Yep. Get the good guys an A. I don't even see McCoy. Did I talk about Jamal McCoy? Yeah, I miss Jamal McCoy. Oh yeah, thank you, bro. Let's go back to the fourth pick. I don't know how I missed him. Let's go back to Jamal McCoy before we get to Benson. Jamal McCoy, fourth round pick. This might be the steal of the draft if it pans out as far as his health. Jamal McCoy, what do you guys give this grade? This should be interesting. I'm real interested to see what you guys say about this one. Jamal McCoy. I think for what we're getting him for, I think is definitely uh, worth the pick. And him being the playmaker that he is, I give it a A. I want to give it an A minus because he didn't play a year, so kind of the skills might need to be sharpened up. I'm not worried about his health so much because once I understood what the injury was and what the implications could be, he can play at a good level for 2 or 3 years before we start having to get concerned. And we know what it is already. So for the fourth round pick, then we can just be excited about what we have and we can just enjoy it while it lasts. It's kind of like when you was little and you go to camp and you used to get your little girlfriend. That was your girlfriend for the camp. You don't fall too much in love with her. It's just camp. So yeah. So I think this could be really really good. I'm gonna give this one a minus only because he hasn't played for a year. But really, it's just so much upside. It's not a lot of downside for that. So what do you guys give Jeremiah? Another sneaky B. Says sneaky B. Yates says B. I mean A plus 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 plus. McCoy gets an A in my book. Bruce Willis say an A for McCoy. Alex say. So you guys are kind of on line with me. It's an A. I think it's an A too. So I'm really excited. I hope he can come in and start at that other corner. I don't want to throw him out there too fast or what I'm saying, that the car might need to, you not might need to feed the cornering light. You don't drive your Benz to work every day. You know what I'm saying? You don't drive your supercar to work every day. You kind of like ease it in there and you kind of use it sparingly until you break it in. And once we break it in, then I believe, okay, let's stick them there and let's start getting value out of them. I just think once he started getting turnovers and start knocking the ball away and playing good coverage, then we can rely on him. But until then, we got enough other, DBs and stuff like that. So I give this an A. I give this an A or B plus. I said B plus, right? I said A minus. I give it an A minus for sure. A minus. Okay, this is another favorite, and this got to be a steal for a lot of people. Is Malik Benson, wide receiver, because a lot of people not only do they have them um, playing well, maybe like getting up to a second receiver. And if you can get a second receiver in the 6th round, I was saying that value that Dalton brings, then this would be very close to it. I just think safety bring more value than a wide receiver, just overall. Uh, but Benson, I like him. I think he got sneaky. You talking about sneaky B? I think he got sneaky game speed. I think he just needs to work on his routes, so then that way the recognition won't be as easy for the DBs. But I think he's a baller. I think he got grit. I think he got moxie. Um, Coming in at a 6th round pick is, if you say a 6th round pick ever just fell in your lap, this could be one of those situations where you just like, oh, wait a minute, what do we have here? A diamond in the rough. So Malik Benson, I'm gonna give him a B, a solid B, based on what I know right now. And he could trend higher, but I'm gonna give him a B because I do see some little quirks in his game that he needs to work on. But his raw talent, that speed, and his ability to get behind defense, run multiple routes, I like that. He just needs to sharpen up those skills a little bit, and I think he can really sky's the limit for this guy. 6th rounder. That says a lot. Masses needs a lot of work on getting stronger and tackling. Yep. So what do you guys got about Benson? How is Benson looking for y'all? What grade would you guys give Benson? We have one more left. Now, this is a guy that maybe a lot of us aren't really know about. You give Mike Benson a B, B minus. Okay. Now, this guy, our 7th round pick, Brandon Cleveland, D tackle, NC State. So we did address the nose tackle ish, kind of. We are going to see what Lockie Tossie can bring to the table. And this guy right here, I heard really we sleeping on. I don't really know a whole lot about him. I do want to do a breakdown on his game, but I haven't heard nothing really bad about him. So the D tackle position is something that you just got to see that during the line in live action. So for me, I like that we still addressed it, because we might can get some kind of steal from it, or we can find something that he does well, and then we can put him in situationally, and then it's a 7th round pick. So I mean, you can't really have a lot of expectation for a 7th rounder, but it might be worth it. It's another body there in those positions in the trenches, and if it's something that we need to address next year, I think we'll double back on that. So, what do you guys give Cleveland? He's a decent pick, C plus. So I haven't seen much of Benson, but I keep hearing good things about him. Yeah, I looked at his tape and watched him in some couple games, and it's just his routes. It's need to be cleaner. But he's a baller though, so I might do a breakdown for him too. B minus for Malik Benson. So Cleveland overall pick, decent pick, C plus. I don't know a whole lot about him. I think it's like for the pick. I think it's good that we addressed it. I got to give it a C. Don't know a whole lot about him. He can definitely jump higher if he balls out in camp and he shows that he could be a stud in this defense. Because I think, like I said, Lockie is going to be playing good. Tonka going to play good. Um, Well, Laulu, I keep really forgetting about Laulu. He was doing his little dance. I forgot about my man's and them. So I think we kind of I think we kind of all right. I think we kind of all right. So overall, I mean, I know we all talked about this. Overall, I think our draft grade is going to be an A. We cover a lot of spots. I think we're going to have a couple people in there that can start day one, if not start day week two, year two. So I think we really did well in the draft. So I think Spy Tech did pretty well there with an A. Let me know, guys, what y'all think. And gals, what y'all think? How do you think that we drafted? We drafted like an A. I think most people say we drafted an A. So for the whole offseason, the entire offseason, what do you give the Raiders overall in the offseason up until this point right now? And for me, the grade I give us is our overall offseason. It's hard not to give us an A. I'm gonna say A minus. Yeah. I'm gonna say overall we get it's an A minus. And so what that means with an A minus, I think that turned the corner for our franchise. And that's why I think this is probably the best offseason we've had in I don't know, at least 30 years or whatever. So the entire offseason, A plus 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 plus. Alex says A. Webb says a A. Straight up. That's good. So you guys are in line with me when it comes to it. So I think we've turned the corner. I definitely think we turned the corner. And continue to say this. You win championships from the top down, not the player up. And the reason why these picks and all that look more competent because Spy Tech is in line with Kubiak, and Kubiak is in line uh, with TB12, and Spy Tech and 12 is working together. Unlike last year where Pete Carroll was funking with Chip Kelly and low key was funking with Patrick Graham. Patrick Graham couldn't even call his own defense because he got the old man in the room telling him what to do. The old man got his son over there, O-line coaching. Maybe he would. Now I think about it. Maybe he was help sabotaging the situation because Chip Kelly definitely was sabotaging the situation. So that toxic situation just made us look just terrible. Um, but hopefully, Spy Tech kind of kept it gritty with our picks last year, and let's see if they mature this year. But what we do know, we had everything on one accord this year when it came to our draft picks this year. So it looked like we were really, really doing well. I love what we're doing. Let's look at the process. Let's not worry about so much about the results, the process. Our process is looking good. We win championships from the top down, not the player up. We're looking really, really confident, and it's going to trickle down. So I'm really, really excited about this offseason now. Let's go ahead and go win some games and get some respectability. And Gerald said we will be a playoff team. Pete was meddling with too many areas and spoiling things. I hate to admit it, but you're right. I get it that he was trying to change the culture for us, but he was meddling in too many things, and that's the antithesis of what we're seeing from Coach Kubiak, because he's essentially like, look, I already got my hands full. I'm about to make this offense great. I'm not even making it great by myself. I got all these people that's going to help me with these individual things. Coach Robbie, I need you to do your thing. I need you to get the people around you, just like I have people around me. Then, hey, and in that way, I think we are going to be familiar with what is going wrong and where we can go to make the adjustment. So it's not like one person trying to do everything. Because the biggest thing is how does offensive coordinator or a coordinator translate to being a head coach? But just because you're a good coordinator doesn't necessarily make you a good head coach. Like look at McDaniels, Josh McDaniels. Can't be a good head coach, but I mean he can call the heck out some plays when he want to. So I just think that's important. Staff was the most important move. Free agency was about even without the draft. Free agency was about even without the draft. Yeah, the staff was the most important. I agree. Let's go get some wins, right, AE? Let's go get some wins. I'm trying to get some wins because I know we weren't a 3-win team last year. We was more like a 6-win team, 5-6 team win, and we elevated from there. We can definitely win probably 2-3 more games from that. So 8 wins, 9 wins. I mean, like if we get 9 wins, I'm gonna be very excited, but I'm also gonna feel a type of way because I'm gonna be like, oh, we was right there. You know, they say 10 to get in, but now that it's a 17-game season, it's not always true, but it gets you in that. You know, at the end of the year when you say in the hunt, well, at least we can see our name in there, and we'll know what games we need to win in order to get out of the hunt and get into the playoffs. So I'm not opposed to that. I'm not opposed to that. So, so it look like we're doing pretty good, fellas and fellaettes. There's not that many females that watch, but if females, there are a couple female fans out there. Uh, we're not doing bad overall. So I just want to thank y'all. I appreciate y'all. You know, I appreciate the love. I appreciate the loyalty. Y'all already know what it is. It's One Nation, Raider Nation, all day, every day. I'm a Raider, you're a Raider, from the Bay to LA to Las Vegas.
I'm a Raider, from the Bay to LA to Las Vegas. Recipes to Al Davis.